Hey guys, welcome to Unbiased Rugby. Sorry, I was a little bit late. Thanks for Bach for giving me a buzz, but I was actually just trying to finish up a meal with my family, and then I thought I'd just run the show a little bit later than normal. That won't happen again, I hope. So today we had 3 cracking games of rugby. I watched 2 of them in full, and I only watched one half of the game, or just maybe about 20-30 minutes of the game. So I'm just going, hey Mark, hey Martin Buck. So I'm just going to go through the games. What I'm going to do is I'm going to probably leave the Ireland-Scotland game to last and talk about the other 2 games first, because I think there's a lot to talk about in the Irish game. A lot of positives to take from that Irish game. And yeah, I think Ireland have given a real warning shot to everybody else at the World Cup. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the graphics that I have for the day. So first game of the day, we had Italy versus Namibia. Italy winning that game 47-22. I've actually got the stats here. If I put my head to the right, I'm just looking at stats on the right-hand side. Just looking at the defensive, I think that Italy were at about 88% defense. It was pretty good. But look, Namibia still scored a lot. It's pretty hard for Namibia to score that many tries and get through the defense. So I'm pretty happy with Namibia. I've really liked Namibia for quite some time. I think they've got a great coach, and I think they're really on the track to create something special. I still don't see them coming third in this pool. I still see them probably coming either last or hopefully beating Canada. It would give Namibia their first win, and I'm sure that's the big thing that they're going after. But yeah, like I said, I'm not really going to go through that game too much because it was pretty much one-sided, and I think we all really knew the outcome before that. I'm going to go into the third game of the day. I'm going to go against the England versus Tonga. It was quite a strange game, that one. I did watch it. The run meters for England, 654 meters. That's seriously high for a game. Hell of a lot of runs. Territory and possession seemed fairly. Actually, possession was more in Tonga's favour than it was in England. But the one thing I noticed about the game was it was quite. A lot of handling errors, a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes, but they could. At the end of the day, that's the kind of game where you can play like that. And I've noticed over most of the games this weekend, except for the next game I'm going to chat about, there was a lot of handling errors. There was a lot of just little niggles. You know what I mean? I think people are just trying to get used to the temperature. I think there's a lot of nothing beats game time. Let's be honest. You can train and train and train, but game time is game time. That's what's the most important. But yeah, it was a well-deserved victory, a bonus point victory for England. The one thing, obviously, England had 10 penalties against them. I don't have the handling errors per se, but only had an 85% percentage of tackles. I just think if they'd faced any one of the other nations, the other contenders for the World Cup, I think it might have been a completely different outcome for England. But by saying that, I think, you've got to get your combinations right. You've got to feel comfortable. And yeah, like I said, if there's any game that you can slip up a little bit, it is against Tonga. It's the first game. You can't play like that against France or against Argentina. I think a nation that can capitalize on that many errors, you'd really be in a lot of trouble. I really like their 13. What's his name? Tuilagi. At least the guy's good. I really think he gets some seriously good go forward kind of ball. That try that he got when he went through, it was about 4 or 5 players. That was amazing. And let's be honest, the Tongans aren't small by a long shot, and that was seriously impressive. But I've got some of the attacking stats here. Watson, 117 meters, 9 runs. That's seriously high. I think there was a lot of running, but just uncharacteristically a lot of mistakes and a lot of knock-ons at Toji, Curry, Underhill, and it just seemed a little bit. They were just getting into their groove. I'm sure Eddie Jones is going to be on their case in this next week, and I'm sure they're going to get through it, because by the time they get to France and Argentina, which is obviously I think their fourth and fifth game in third and fourth game in the pool, they're going to have to be on song. They're really going to have to be 100% cooking, and yeah. But now I'm going to go on to probably, I thought that I enjoyed yesterday's games a lot, but that Ireland-Scotland game was probably one of the most entertaining games I've seen in a long time. Just because the score was 27-3 in favour of Ireland. Ireland also getting a bonus point victory. But boy, that Ireland squad is just absolutely ruthless. Because Scotland didn't play that bad. I'll be honest. If Scotland were playing any other side the way they were playing today, they would have been scoring tries. For the last 20 minutes, they were literally camped inside the Ireland 22, and they just could not break that defence. And the nice thing about the Ireland is they actually played two different kinds of defence. So their first defence in their first half was very brush in your face, and the second half it was more structured and wide. And so I thoroughly enjoyed that game. And I was sitting back and I was going, of all the games this weekend in round one, I was going, I think Ireland had probably the most complete performance of any of the sides. And because Scotland weren't that bad, yes, there were a few issues. And yeah, I agree with you, Mark. I think they were forcing it a lot. But, I think when you're so far behind, you actually have to try and make something out of nothing, and they could not crack that Ireland defence. The forwards were just immense. I've got some of the stats here. Ireland versus Scotland, 94% tackle completion rate for Ireland. 94%. Of 139, only 8 missed tackles. That is sublime. How many Tier 1 nations have you seen in the last couple of years have a 94%? And if you look at it, Scotland also had 89%. So these are two teams that they weren't missing their tackles, and that was the score. The possession was pretty much the same. Run meters a little bit more for Ireland. I'm just checking down here. Even the penalties, it's only 6-7. 6 for Scotland, 7 for Ireland. You're talking these are good stats for a game. Ireland even had a yellow card. It's yeah. I don't know what you guys think, because of all the teams, I think Ireland would have won either one of these games this weekend, and that's coming from a real heavyweight game yesterday between South Africa and New Zealand. And I was watching Joe Schmidt's after the interview, and he was saying, they're not heavyweights. I'm sorry, I don't know what he's smoking or anything like that. Ireland are serious contenders. If they get their structures right and they get to play the way that they like to play, I'm sorry, I don't see any team cracking that defence easily. New Zealand have sublime attack skills, and they can really push Ireland. But when Ireland play like that, they are hard to beat, because they love defending a lead. I have noticed with Ireland, they're not really good chasers of a game. They like to get their points and then just suffocate the hell out of the game, and that's the way that they play. And good on them, Hey Joe, welcome. Hey, how's the confidence? Yeah, so we're here. Joe's have got a running thing with me that they're going to smash us in the quarters. We've got to see that's going to still got to happen first. I still think it's going to be a cracker of a game, but yeah, that Ireland performance today was bar none the best performance of the weekend. For me, best rated team this weekend. And yeah, I really think they are on song. We had a few issues when those pre-games for the Rugby World Cup, but sorry, Ireland are the real deal. Yeah, I agree with you, David. I think everyone's gonna find it difficult to break that defence. I feel the only way to go through it is you're gonna have to go up the middle. You're gonna have to really do the hard work. I look at CJ Stander. CJ Stander gets a lot of stick. He is my favourite Irish player because he was a Bull, and he plays for Munster, not Leinster. But I can forgive him for that. But he was a Bull, and that's the most important thing. And I think he's put on about 5 kgs. It looks like he has, because I was looking at his weight, and it just seemed a little bit higher than normal. And I think because people were giving him a bit of stick that he wasn't getting the go forward ball that he was getting before, and I think he did 9 runs for 43 meters. Now that's Billy Vinipola kind of level, because I was looking exactly at that. Attacking Stander, 16 runs, 42 meters, clean breaks. That doesn't seem right, this clean breaks, yeah? I know he had the 1 penalty, but come on, I think most of them did. But yeah, that forward dominance. One thing I can say, I feel really sorry for Hamish Watson. I hope he doesn't have looks like a seriously bad injury. There's nothing worse than watching a really world-class player be knocked out of the World Cup due to an injury. It's the kind of player he deserved to go into the knockouts. Yeah, I agree with you, Joe. Joe's saying there, I'm just going to put this on the thing here. I honestly feel the same. I feel that Ireland are really good at defending a total. I think they battle to chase a total. I think they know how to suffocate a game. They know how to go through their phases, keep the ball for 80, 90 phases, and then I think that's Ireland's game plan, and they're good at it. And I think New Zealand, South Africa, Wales, the big contenders, England, the big contenders. I think Ireland are the real deal. I think there was a lot of talk about them being a little bit off, and they weren't a little 100%, but yeah, they're peaking at the right time. Because and the reason why I'm saying that is because I don't think Scotland were as bad as the scoreline suggests. And that's all I'm trying to say. Sometimes the scoreline doesn't reflect how well a team was playing. But yeah, overall it was an interesting day of rugby. Like I said, Italy Namibia game was, I watched a bit of it. The Ireland Scotland game was highly entertaining. The England Tonga game, England have a few things to work on, but they're easier things to fix. It's still England, guys. They're going to come with their powerful runners. They're going to come with the tactical kicking from Owen Farrell. So I think it's the first game. Come on, let's give them a break. But there's been a lot of comments out there about reffing, and I've been watching all these games, and some of the reffing calls have been quite atrocious. Let's see who's the Australian wing now who's been cited, and he should have been cited in the game, but he's been cited now. It doesn't help Fiji out now, but if you guys could put the comments if you know who it is. I'm Welsh, and the teams bring Gregors. Exactly, Schlesien. But I just think we need to give the refs a bit of a break. It was the first weekend of international rugby, and just like we were looking at all our players going, Jesus, why are you knocking on? What the hell are you thinking? The knock-ons and the mistakes. That's it, Hodge. The knock-ons and the mistakes. I think the same thing we should give the refs a bit of a break. And just hopefully they also get into the spirit of the competition, and their kind of calling gets a little bit better. I thought the England-Tonga reffing was a little bit better than most. I thought there were 1 or 2 little incidents. That is Stuart Barnes. I really like him as a ref. That it was officiated a little bit better. But I think let's just give them a bit of a break for the next couple of games, and hopefully by the knockouts, they've really got their eye on the ball, and they've worked out all these kind of things. I don't think any of the ref calls would have affected any of the game's outcomes, except maybe the France Argentina game. I think I think the reffing call did cause a bit of an upset. But at the end of the day, you've actually got to win your game well and truly well before that, and not rely on a ref's decision. Let's just go here. Yeah, exactly, Joe. I think refs are human, and and we just got to give them a bit of a break. But if they haven't sorted it out by the quarterfinals, then sorry, then it's time to say it's time to say some kind of reviews or something. But I'm hoping that we have Nigel Owens and we have Jaco Paper and some of the better refs out there to actually do the officiating in the knockouts. But yeah, let's just give them just a little bit of a break. And next weekend, when we have the same conversation, then we can just rip into them because, hopefully our teams have started improving by then. But yeah, guys, I think I actually saw someone was actually commenting the other day. It says the only bonus about being in the French team is you're not ref by French refs. So I thought that was quite funny because a lot of people have a lot of issues with the French refs, but I think we're all in the same. I think we're all in the same boat when it comes to that. We'll just leave it at that. But yeah, I thought it was a highly entertaining weekend of rugby. I think we've got the next couple of days. It's just one game a day, so there's not going to be a hell of a lot to talk about. And hopefully by the next weekend, we know the big games start playing up again. I just want to check this quickly. What games are coming up? I think it's by Thursday. Sorry, I've got to change those pictures over there. Still no big games. The weekend, Australia-Wales. So I think that's going to be the next game that where we start seeing like the really big games coming up again. I think there's a lot of Tier 1 versus Tier 2 nations games. But yeah, overall, super happy with the games this weekend. Very entertaining. Yeah, Wales tomorrow. I'm going to actually watch that game. I've got a meeting I've got to go to, but I'm going to record that game and watch it when I get home. But yeah, guys, I hope you had an absolutely wonderful weekend of rugby. I certainly did. I enjoyed almost all the games. I was thoroughly entertained, and I'm saying that the World Cup has lived up to the hype, and I'm super excited for it to going forward. Listen, guys, that's me out for the evening, and I'm looking forward to chatting tomorrow. I'm going to try and make sure I'm on time. I'll try not to be late, I promise. And I look forward to tomorrow's games, and I hope you guys have an absolutely wonderful week. Chat soon. Cheers. Bye.